and welcome to Belinda's Book Nook. I'm here to say hi. I'm here to do my January wrap-up of the books that I've read in January. I am also here to say thank you for everybody that looked at my last video, my announcement video about the Black Booktippers database, and went over to my blog and checked that out. I will be continuing to grow it. I will be expanding it with more information. I will begin to include in the next versions their Instagram accounts, if they have Instagram, and also if they have a blog. So you'll be able to get access to even more content. So I think that it was a really fun project to do with my husband, and I hope everybody gets a chance to use it. I think it's going to be wonderful to be able to have just one place that you can kind of pull that information, and we can continue to grow it. I'm going to talk about my books because I'm timing myself so that it won't, it looks like it's timer stopping, so that I won't go over time, because I'm really, and I read 5 books this month, which I'm really proud of because I'm such a slow reader, but January is always like my great month, so I get one moment of glory. I like it because the year usually tends to go pretty good in the first few months, and then I slump off, and then we find out I don't meet my reading goals. So I'm going to start talking about my books because I want to make sure I talk to you about them. The first book is Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet, and it's by Jamie Ford. Now, you might remember this book from a few videos ago. This is in one of my top 12 books that I own that I wanted to read in 2020. Yes, I'm reading a book that I've owned for several years now, and I'm excited to be able to say that that book on my shelf I've read. So this book is a story about a lot of things, but mostly the time period of World War II, where we had the Japanese internment camps. I read later last year another novel. It was a graphic novel, which is, the name is escaping me right now. That was a really good one, and I've read several at this point in time, at least 4 books on this topic. So I was eager to get to this one because I knew I had this one when I was reading the other one that I had borrowed from the library. But this story, it goes back and forth in time between 1940 and 1980s, and the main character is Henry Lee, who is a Chinese American. He is of school age, and he lives with his parents in Japantown in Seattle, and he goes, his parents have all the great intentions for him to be successful, so they send him to this school, but so that he could get a better education. But the school doesn't really have any Japanese students in it. It's predominantly white. He gets teased and bullied. He's not very happy. He doesn't like it, but he's going because he's trying to respect his parents' wishes. And then along came Keiko Okabe, who is a Japanese American, and she lives in the same area. Well, she lives in the same area, in the Japanese area, kind of, and he lives in like the Chinatown area of Seattle. And they become friends, and eventually he starts to feel romantic feelings for her. And the story kind of goes around them, but it goes back and forth in time to present day, which is in the 80s, and him reflecting back on that time period. It covers some really good stuff in it, and I think it's a nice story to look at. And I think in the ones that I've read, I've never read one with a Japanese and a Chinese character interacting during this time period. And also, some of the fear that even the Japanese Americans felt, even the Chinese Americans felt, because they felt that they could potentially be scooped up and brought to these camps because people would mistake them for being Japanese. So there's a lot of layers of different things in it. It's a great story. I have another book by him, and I'm definitely going to read it now because I think this was really written well. And I finally have gotten to it. The next book that I got, you saw this one this summer. right? I got, no, this fall, this fall, I went to the book fair and I met this author, Christina Forrest, and this is a YA novel. It's called I Want to Be Where You Are by Christina Forrest, a debut novel. It's a really lovely story about a girl named Chloe and her neighbor, and his name is, I got little notes here. What was his name? Oh no, hold on. Don't. Eli. Eli is her neighbor. It's like a coming of age story, and it also talks about issues. She is a ballet dancer, and she's pursuing, the steps to become a professional ballet dancer when she graduates from high school. And the book does cover some of the obstacles that she faces as a black ballerina. And it reminded me of the book that I had read by Misty Copeland, I think around 2014 or 15. And that one was called, what was the name of that one? Life in Motion. And I remember Misty talking about similar issues that she talked about here that she faced when she was trying to get into that, the professional level. And, this is a YA, so there is some romance. So without giving away any of the story, Chloe and I keep blanking on his name, Eli, end up on a road trip, and sparks start to fly, and you go through the journey of their relationship and her pursuits, and it's really cute. Nick Stone actually blurbed it in the top, said a brilliant burst of light, a dazzling debut, and I definitely agree. If you get a chance, pick it up. I know that this author has another book coming out either this month or next month, so if you do like it, you'll even have another book to read. It's not a series, they are standalone books, but she does have another book that's coming out. The next one is by Jasmine Gilroy. It's called Royal Holiday. I read the proposal and the wedding date by her and fell in love. Didn't realize I had needed a little bit of romance in my reading life. And when I did, this author came up, and I really liked her book, those two books that I read first. So when I saw this one, I snatched this up. I thought it would be great for the holidays. I started it in December, and then I kind of put it down and did something else. But then I picked it up again, figuring I could finish it this month. And it's the difference, I guess, in this one and the other stories is that this one is an older romance. The main character, her name in this is Vivian Forrest. That's what it is. And Vivian Forrest is the mother of one of the characters in here, and her daughter is a stylist and ends up going to England to style the Duchess. And her mother goes along for the trip with her, and she ends up meeting Malcolm Hudson, and he works for the Queen, and romance breaks down, and it's nice, it's refreshing. It's nice to also see older romance in a story. It's definitely a Jasmine Gilroy book, but it was a nice one, nice light one to read. So I did enjoy that one. And I have 5 books that I read. I'm not going to talk about the last one to you because I want to do that as a separate book chat. But this one that I read is called, the 4th one I read is called Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. It's a debut novel. It's just come out. And I listened to this in audio, so that's why I have the book cover here for you. This story, when I first heard about it, what I had heard was it was this black babysitter, and she was in a store, and she had the white child that she was taking care of, and then the next thing you know, police are confronting her for kidnapping and things like that. So it piqued my interest to read the book. After reading the book, I think that was part of the story, but only one aspect of this story. The story follows Alix Chamberlain, who's a white career professional who lives in New York with her husband and 2 children, and she ends up having, for certain reasons, as she has her 2nd child, moving to the suburbs and hiring Amira Tucker, who is black, to watch her 2-year-old daughter, Briar. The book explores a lot, like the family dynamics between Elix and her children, Elix particularly with her relationship with Briar, her relationship with Amira, her relationship with her husband. But one of the things that I like that they mentioned, and I like the wording of it, is it talked about transactional relationships. And it talked about the fact that, you know, Elix had hired Amira to take care of her child. And, you know, she pays her and she talks to her, and how she blurs the line and tries to make herself believe that Amira is part of her family, when it's really Amira is her babysitter / nanny, you know, for her child. And that no matter how much Elix wants that to, or thinks that that is so, it is still a transactional relationship, because money is exchanged for the services. So that, I think, was a really important aspect of the story that comes out when the situation occurs with regards to Amira being in the store and being confronted about having this white child, and where did this child come from? Did she basically take the child? She inadvertently comes across and meets somebody from Elix's past. And this story then becomes a big web of a lot of things, you know, that are just, you know, you're getting a lot of backstory to kind of to bring the story forward. There were some interesting characters in here. I really enjoyed Amira's friends in the book. I liked Amira as well. I found that the story does explore a lot of issues of race, and it's a good one. I think it's a great one to be able to discuss the different aspects of it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to say that because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But if you get a chance, pick it up. I listened to the audiobook and it was fantastic of this book. So that's the one. And then I will come back with you guys with my 5th book, because I want to do it separately because I really enjoyed it. And that's it. So I'm really excited about the books. I have some other videos coming up for you guys this month. I'm looking forward to Black History videos and things like that for this month. And I hope you all are reading fantastic books and will share them with me. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Have a blessed day. Bye.